guys, in the PFL, welcome back to the Bundy Factor. Just had another great weekend of football. Congrats to all the winners, like the Tennessee Titans, and as for the losers, well, get them next week. All right, guys, our game of the week from last week was the Mucklucks and the Mud Hens, and you know, the Mud Hens winning streak finally came to an end. His streak of scoring less than 100 points and still winning came to a crashing halt. The Mucklucks finished him off. Congrats, Mink. What that means is now they're both 6-2, and they're both in first place in their division, 2 games ahead of everyone else. All right, take a look at the stats from the game, guys. All right, BF stands for backfield. REC stands for receivers. INT stands for intangibles. As you can see, it was pretty even until you got to the intangibles. The Mucklucks won the game with defense and kicking. Okay, that brings us to this week's game of the week. It is the Houstonville Belly Rolls and the Lexington Locomotives. The Belly Rolls are 4-4. The Locomotives are 3-5. Now, there's been some questions from league members of why this is the game of the week. Guys, we are an equal opportunity fantasy football league. There is no game that happens any week that could not be game of the week, because every game is important. All right, let's take a look at the coaches challenge here. As you can see, Rob and Joe are 4-4 against each other. I say Rob and Joe because Joe's changed his name a few times. But anyway, their record overall throughout the years is 4-4. So the winner of this game is going to have a leg up on his opponent, so to speak. And as you can see, the last 4 games, the Belly Rolls have been averaging 110 points a game, while the Locos have only been averaging 98. All right, you know, the thing that jumps out to me is that Rob's schedule, that's what that bottom ranking is, schedule strength, he's had the second easiest schedule so far, while Joe has had the toughest. You know, the only team that's had an easier schedule than the Belly Rolls so far are the Mud Hens. All right, now that brings us to 3 key points in this game you guys need to watch out for. First thing is Kurt Warner going back home to St. Louis. I expect him to have a big game. Keep an eye out for that. Second thing is, will Devin Hester score more points for the Belly Rolls defense or the Locomotives offense? That's a good question. And the biggest thing is, can the Locomotives overcome their serious bye week issues? The Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints are on a bye. He's losing Steve Smith and Deuce McAllister. Okay, this brings us to a new segment in the Bundy Factor. I'm really excited about this one. It's called the Waiver Wire Wizards. Okay, guys, this is just like an 11th team in the league. These are guys that were on the waiver wire this past weekend, and if we'd have picked them up, they would have helped your team. In fact, if you had had an empty roster and picked up every one of these guys on the Waiver Wire Wizards, you would have beaten every single team in the PFL. All right, there they are, the Waiver Wire Wizards. As you can see, they had some names you might recognize, guys, like Matt Jones. But, you know, the 2 guys that really leapt off the page, or off the field, I guess, were Leonard Weaver for Seattle and Donnie Avery for the Rams. They both scored 28 points. Now, you know, as you can see, if you added up all of these guys' points last week, they would have scored 182 points, which would have broken the Primate Football League's all-time scoring record. As you see there in the bottom right, those are the teams they defeated this past week. So the Waiver Wire Wizards went 10-0. Guys, we must improve. All right, guys, as we go to commercial, take a look at this week's power rankings.
I'm Rob Phelps, and I approve this message.
Hi, I'm Rob Phelps, and I'm running for PFL Commissioner. Now, my opponent has been running a smear campaign, and I feel I need to respond to his accusations.
Man, I tell you, I can't stand dirty politics.
Who's he running against?
First of all, my opponent says that I have been washing dishes in my household. I will tell you right now, I have not had any working relations with that woman, Miss Phelps.
Oh, man, that's dirty. I still don't know who his opponent is.
My opponent also says that I'm going to raise taxes in the PFL. Read my lips. No new taxes.
I heard that before.
I believe it.
My opponent says that I was against the wide receiver rule. Well, I'll have you know that I was for the wide receiver rule before I was against the wide receiver rule.
Yeah, I remember that.
Re-elect me, Rob Phelps, PFL Commissioner.
It's now time for the Bundy Blockbuster.
Yeah, guys, no longer the Bundy Blunder. It's called the Bundy Blockbuster now, and it represents a play or player that helped his coach win this past week in the Fantasy Football League. This week, it goes to Chris Johnson of the Oaktown Warriors. All right, the game situation was the Oaktown Warriors were down 7 going into Monday night against the New York Belly Rolls. What happened? Chris Johnson laid the Bundy Blockbuster down. That's what happened. Oh, let me get out of your way, guys. Take a look at this.
You can see the quickness, the speed, the acceleration of Chris Johnson. There's just a little seam, a crack, and watch him dart through there. I love the calmness with which he runs. The helmet steady, the shoulders steady, but boy, those legs are moving fast. And Jeff is real happy.
Wow, that was a Bundy Blockbuster. Always gives me a rush. All right, that's it for the Bundy Factor this week. Crawdads, that's who I play this week. You're 1-7. You're going to be 1-8 after this week. You have no chance. Everybody else, best wishes.